This episode of Arrow TV is brought to you by ECW Hunting Calls. Hey everyone, welcome to Arrow TV. On last week's episode, you saw me put my scent blocker to the test in Missouri as I had every deer come in from straight downwind of me. And this week's show is going to be no different, except for I'm tackling a buck we call G2. I'm on the ground and he's at 17 yards straight downwind. But before we get to that, we're going to take you on a hunt with our friend Cameron Tank in Illinois as he takes a really nice doe in mid-October.
Alright, it's October 18th, nearly 3 weeks since the season first started. First time out in the tree, the farmer's harvesting the bean field just to my right. When I was walking in, I already had two does, two good-sized does, about 10 yards from the stand. Hopefully two more come in. It's a pretty good night. Stay tuned.
Nothing says it's fall in the Midwest quite like the sound of a combine in the field. Now I'm still kind of surprised at the amount of people that think that a combine or a tractor would spook deer off while they're in stand. I've actually been in stand and watched deer stand at the edge of the tree line waiting for the combine to pass to go out in the field to feed right behind it. This night was no different for Tank, because it wasn't long after the combine picked this little cove in the field that outstepped this doe.
Well, back here at the farm, just got done reviewing the footage of the doe, and yeah, I put a bad shot on her. It was really low and really far back. It was definitely a gut shot, so what I think I'm going to do is just let her sit for tonight, let her sit about 12 hours and try to get her in the morning. So stay tuned, we'll see if we can't find her. Alright, it's the next morning, going out to look for my doe. Pretty sure she bedded down right away, so first place we're going to go is, of course, right where you shot her. Hopefully I can find my arrow. Hopefully it'll be a fast recovery. That's what I'm hoping for. Alright, well, we finally found her. Probably tracked her for 150 to 200 yards. Instead of just bedding over in the island just over here to my right, she actually went back to her bedding area in the woods and ended up finding her all keeled up. So she's a good doe. She'll definitely taste good. So pretty proud of her. Gotta love the obsession bow. First kill with the bow. So hopefully there's many more to come. Thanks for watching.
That was a really nice buck Tank had come in after that doe. He come in lip curling, trying to get a good whiff of her. It was too bad he didn't come close enough for a shot. But maybe Tank will have a run-in with him later in the year. I started shooting a bow when I was 5 years old. I started deer hunting with my bow when I was 11. I actually took my first deer the first night out. That was quite the experience. I actually started going to the woods with my dad when I was like 5 years old, getting in, staying with him and sitting there. So I started off all this at a very early age. Unfortunately, my dad died when I was 17 years old, but he had already instilled the outdoors and the hunting lifestyle into me. To say that bow hunting is just a passion or obsession to me is a big understatement. Now we're going to take you back to my 2013 season. It started off opening morning. I was sitting in one of my favorite stands, and just shortly after light, I had two fawns come in on me. I was waiting for the doe, thought maybe I could get some meat in the freezer right off the bat that season, but unfortunately there was no doe with them. These two milled around my stand all morning long. In fact, when I got down at 10:30 in the morning, they were bedded 30 yards from me. Now my season that year, for whatever reason, I just was not seeing the deer. I wasn't hardly seeing any does, and the bucks I was seeing were all small. Now when November rolled around, I started my vacation, so I sat every day, all day. I still really wasn't seeing that much deer activity. I started sitting other stands that we don't sit until the rut starts. Now that year I picked up a brand new farm actually the day before our season opened. And one of the first pictures of a buck I got was this buck that we named G2. And on that same farm, we started getting pictures right away of a buck we called Captain Hook. Now I got several pictures of both these bucks, and I'd planned on not sitting this farm till the rut started, and I started my vacation. My first sit on this farm was on the very south end of it. I'd been getting lots of trail cam pictures there. I really had some high hopes for that evening. Now, as soon as I got in the tree, I noticed about 80 yards from me there was a small doe bedded. I didn't spook her at all setting up, and she stayed right there. And a couple hours into the hunt, I had this 1.5-year-old buck come in. He come in right down in front of me, perfect. If it would have been a big one, I couldn't ask for anything better. He worked his way through in front of me, worked a scrape about 50 yards from me, and then went on, found that little doe and bumped her up out of her bed. Now little did I know, the mom to that little fawn was bedded about 120 yards from me. Well, that buck found her and bumped her up out and chased her around in front of me for about 20 minutes. Now later that evening, right before I was losing camera light, I decided to let out a couple light grunts in case there was anything close to me. As soon as I did, I heard one coming immediately. Now this buck that come in, I've been waiting to see on the hoof all year. I've got several trail cam pictures of him, and he's only a 1.5-year-old 10-pointer. In a few years, this thing is going to be a great deer. He has some very good genetics. Now earlier, before that first buck even come in, I had looked to the north of me, across 2 fields and across the road, probably a good 1/4 mile from me, on a hilltop. I seen a really good-sized bodied buck come out in the field, nose to the ground, trying to get on some tracks. Now the winds were going to be perfect that next day to sit that side of the farm, and it was supposed to rain through the afternoon, and I had a ground blind over there. I could not wait to get in. Now the following morning I set one of my favorite rut stands, and I did not see a single deer. It was pretty windy, but I still did not see a single deer. So about 10:30 I got down, went over to the other farm to try to beat the rain getting in the ground blind. And just as I got to the blind and started setting up my decoy, the rain started. I had a great feeling about that night. I love sitting in the rain. Temps were falling. I don't think I could have asked for anything better. Hey everyone, it's November 5th. We're out for the afternoon hunt. It's raining. It's still early. We get in the blind like noon. We're gonna sit for the rest of the day. From a distance, we seen a nice buck up here cruising, looking for does yesterday. Fairly early, so we got in here early. Gonna stay out of the rain. Hopefully things work out. Stick with us. I was only in my blind for about an hour before I had this deer come in. And this little guy, he didn't know what to make of my decoy. Now, little did I know, this would be the only deer I seen till last light, when the buck we called G2 stepped out. I just shot one. It happened really fast. I didn't get much footage of him. I did see him go down. I don't know what buck he is though. We're gonna go out there and find out though real quick. Well, here he is. He didn't go far. Probably went about 100 yards. I seen him go down once. He got back up. Made it just a little further behind the trees though out in the field. I couldn't see him there. Perfect double lung shot. Man, that NAP Kill Zone Max. That thing does a number on animals. This is a buck we call G2. I've got tons of pictures of him. Definitely not a monster, but just a really nice buck. Extremely happy to take him. I know the footage wasn't all the best, but it happened real quick, and without a cameraman, sometimes that's the way it's gonna happen. So, but I'm definitely a happy camper. 17 yards straight downwind. Nothing gets you closer. Now, as with most of our hunts, this hunt was self-filmed. And when you're self-filming, you know, stuff happens. Things get rushed. Deer come in quick on you. You're running out of camera light. But you know, we try to make it the very best we can without a cameraman. All I can say is at least it was a great shot on the deer and he didn't go far, especially since it was pouring rain. Now that deer I've got over 100 trail cam pics of from that year. He was actually the very first deer I got on camera on that farm. He had a small drop tine coming off his base on his right side, but sometime in mid-October he broke that off. And I'd yet to get a daytime picture of that deer up until a few days before that hunt. It was the very first time I ever caught him in daylight on a camera. Well, that's all we got for this week's show. I hope you enjoyed it, and you're not going to want to miss next week's show. We're going to take you back to last season, 2014, with my Illinois buck, and then we're going to take you back to 2012 to one of my most memorable hunts. I put a 3-hour stalk on a buck and closed the distance to 7 yards for a shot on this Illinois buck. Hey everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Arrow TV. Now, on last week's episode, you saw me put my scent blocker to the test in Missouri. Every deer in that hayfield come into me from straight downwind. Arrow TV would like to thank the following people for their support. Scent Blocker, Obsession Bows, ECW Hunting Calls, Gold Tip Arrows, Bee Stinger Stabilizers, Antler King, Primo, Stormy Hardwoods, Whitetail Obsession Scents, and especially you, the viewers. Thanks for watching.